Oh, there was, I was
Okay.
watching that.
Thanks, Gary.
The guy played for the New England Patriots.
How are you?
Hi, just fine, how are you?
Oh, good. Retired now.
Played with Brady and they won 2 or 3. So he said,
Oh, Edelman, George?
yeah, he's on Colin Coward. He said no team has got
Oh, you too good to race?
a play in their when they're 6 yards away
Oh,
from the goal
whatever.
line for a
Just put
2-point
some new
conversion.
floor
He
mats
said
in there.
no team tries that. Yeah, he said, and why did Campbell do that?
Cause he told the referee,
Huh? Yeah,
Thanks.
they're playing.
Baked out there here.
Them boys
Hi, Richard, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm just peachy. Yeah.
I like seeing them win.
But the monster, you're doing all right.
We gotta drop after here.
Go ahead.
We gotta drop.
Well, it was with Barry.
Oh.
Well, heck, last time they were in the division, it wasn't even,
Yeah.
they weren't even in the north. They were in the central division.
That's right.
Yeah, probably right there.
Tampa Bay was up there.
Yep.
They said if the Browns and Detroit get to the Super Bowl, it'll be the nicest between two teams.
You've been to the
Most
job.
teams don't have nothing.
Never happened.
It'll never happen. Never's a, I'll tell you one thing my dad always told me, never's a long
They
time.
won't let us do it no more.
Purdy Brady.
Be wishful thinking.
I saw
never-
them. I saw them.
break
She
his
broke
leg.
down.
Never's a
They
long
couldn't-
time. Don't ever say never.
It ain't back like you take Lamar away from Baltimore.
I know how long it took.
Don't even go there, Gary, you know I'm bad, I can't stand Tom
Oh, I
Brady.
had to-
Take that Trent Williams out. That's another one. Take them, take them. But you take, you
I just wondered, like, last year, I walked my team, and I
They
was
run to the left. Trent Williams. Yes, sir.
So you broke it this time, I broke it last time.
How's it going, son? New Year's.
Yeah.
We made it around. It was nice. It was just me and Dad. Got up there and started talking. I turned on Netflix and looked out.
Picture everybody.
Oh, and it's-
I did that most of the time. I said hi to family.
It was raining.
And then went home.
I don't know. Brown's gotta get the front, so everybody's off ways.
I'm too old to be playing around with kids.
We used to talk about this a while ago. I was like,
Even with the Rams.
Sometime I wonder.
no, Sunday.
We've talked about, me and Gary's talked about that before.
Yeah, we talked.
Throwing games.
Good player.
I mean,
Why is your mortgage up?
but I stay home and watch it.
Especially when one team,
I mean, I can
there's
go out
no
with
way they should
people,
lose.
but I don't watch it.
I agree. I enjoyed this sitting there. And we made it up for the fall. I figured I was gonna get in bed. I mean, I was in bed, but I didn't fall asleep.
I wonder about that myself sometimes.
Yeah, I did what I was supposed to do this year.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys got this for this week. DTL.
Better than last year.
I'm only bad at the beginning.
You make it out
Well,
there
you know,
before recovery, Gary, it's really, you
Defense
make it out there
against
before recovery, but you make it through.
Hopkins,
I'm Brad.
good one.
City.
Oh, did you?
Brad's out again. We wasn't that far apart, Gary.
We all gotta go? Is that what you're saying?
I
Hadn't seen Kevin for a while. I say
Kevin
hi.
right there.
Yeah,
There he is back here.
How you doing,
Good, how you been? Long time.
All right. Doing okay.
Good, good. Just wanted to say
Hey, Dwayne.
Making a mess of it.
Where's Steve? I got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Steve. Look at these guys. That's a group right there. If you're lucky, we'll let you join. If you're lucky, we'll let you join. You don't want to join?
They don't do anything to me.
You don't know what you're missing.
I can get by with 2.
I can
Say,
drink
like,
I drink like, I drink a lot of Mountain Dew.
So Steve.
I do it.
Last time I did have Mountain Dew in my life. That thing already says so. No, that's 6 minutes.
I'm serious. I've been still working on some eggs in my
Hi, Steve.
How you doing?
I'm glad everybody understands very
Oh, I don't know what the hell
How you doing? Very good.
Mitch, how we doing, buddy?
Hi, Mitch.
How you doing?
Mr. Stuck Up Dwayne. Hey, you just Yeah, I was standing right beside you on this floor. Hey.
Where was that at?
That's just rough.
Really? I didn't even see you. How the hell could I not see you?
I was like, man, you just stuck up.
Well, goddamn it.
He's a big son.
I just.
People have
guys want to keep on your side.
That's probably my hand.
The one main thing is, are you both okay? If he's in the hospital.
Just had a random drug test.
Good old random, that's good for an hour. I interrupted there. That was fun. You one of them that always gets told to that?
Hey, how do you like that hard
I was
You don't have any message? I'm serious. I'm serious. I've been working. I'm getting old. I didn't get the random moves on mine or I get home from work.
I don't think you need anything either. It's just like, come on. One year, some guys are
I'm Miranda.
I got 3
I had her name on
Oh,
Facebook. That's not right.
I didn't think so, but I'm not gonna think about it. Yeah, I forgot about it.
It's still sitting in my bag.
Well, I know it's Dawn, because Dawn was in the other room.
I think I'm a troublemaker.
That was Dawn. That was
It seems like we need to begin I've been lazy. That's what I'm kind of jealous.
I'm always on my best behavior.
Me too.
Let's see it.
Okay.
See what you're gonna do. I tried, I didn't know.
I looked at the program. I looked back at that now and
got a new car. We gotta get their car back. No, I don't understand anything.
He's got 3 options.
You can shake everybody's hand and say, "Mine's off." Why?
Drive for them?
I've seen you a couple times on people I might know.
Really?
I don't know which one, so I don't know.
I gotta buy
Didn't I put it in a response of like, okay, well, this shape.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
But it might be the wrong one.
Brought you to a meeting.
Just had an all the way this afternoon.
It's all I have to
Yeah, I'm gonna, my one is my old one. And this is one my graduation. Yeah, that's all I pulled out my life. My old one's like, I'm gonna tell you.
I've had one once too.
I was before I just got one after. And they still pretty.
I thought they said one for a long time.
Get out.
Yeah.
I should have made a rule like I told them.
Yeah? Yeah. He already make a sand ride or anything like that. Should see it.
Yeah. I'm Gary, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Gary.
I'd like to welcome everyone here to the Coldwater Friday Night Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. Those who wish, we'll open the meeting with serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for a membership. We are self-supporting to their own contribution. It is not aligned with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy. Neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. I'll ask my friend Richard to read how it works.
I'm Richard Alcoholic. How it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot, or will not, completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They're naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living in man's rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. As some of these we bought, we thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was kneeling to let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half mentions above us nothing. We stood at the turning point. The answer protection and care was complete abandoned. Here are the steps we took which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that the power within ourselves grew social sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exactness of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all his defects of character. 7, humbly I stand to remove our shortcomings. 8, made lists of all persons we had harmed, and became willing to make amends for them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory. When we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, We try to carry the message of alcoholics and the practicing principles in all our affairs. And if us explain what an order, I can't go through with it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow in spiritual minds. The principles we have set down in us of progress include spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapters of the agnostics, and our personal adventures before and after make clear three pertinent ideas. A, that we are alcoholics and cannot measure our own lives. B, that probably no human power can ever relieve our alcoholism. C, that God could and would if he was
Thanks, Richard.
Hey, Richard, I've asked a friend to read the 12 traditions.
I'm Charlie Alcoholic.
Charlie.
The 12 traditions. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2, for our group purposes, but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4, each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting the other group or AA as a whole. 5, each group has one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholic and still suffers. 6, an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise. These problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible for to those they serve. 10, Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11, our public relation policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and film. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us of our spiritual or personality.
Thank you, Charlie. I've asked another friend to read the promises.
Cody Alcoholic.
Cody.
Spiritual life is not a given. We have to live it. Unless one family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not to urge them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change in time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. If we don't worry about them, we can honestly say to ourselves that we would right them if we could. Some people cannot be deceived. We send them an honest letter, and there may be a valid reason for postponement. In some cases, but we don't delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful, and considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. As God's people, we stand on our feet. We don't crawl before anyone. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in self-esteem and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize for us.
Thank you, Cody. That's Tom to read the reflections.
Tom, alcoholic. Total acceptance. He cannot picture life without alcohol. Someday he will be unable to, excuse me. Someday he will be unable to, I can't do this. Yeah, please.
Someday, he will be unable to imagine life either with alcohol or without it. Then he will know loneliness just as few do.
He will be at the jumping off place. He will wish for the end. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 152. Only an alcoholic can understand the exact meaning of a statement like this one. The double standard that held me captive as an active alcoholic also filled me with terror and confusion. If I don't get a drink, I'm going to die. Competed with, if I continue drinking, it's going to kill me. Both compulsive thoughts pushed me ever closer to the bottom. That bottom produced a total acceptance of my alcoholism with no reservations whatsoever, and one that was absolutely essential for my recovery. It was a dilemma unlike anything I had ever faced, but as I found out later on, a necessary one if I was to succeed in this program. And that's it.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Steve.
Steve. That's Mike to read the 24-hour book.
No, my name is Mike, and
Hey,
I'm
Mike.
on January 5th, AA call for the day. Have I turned to a higher power for help? Do I believe that each man or woman I see in AA is a demonstration of the power of God to change a human being from a drunkard into a sober, useful citizen? Do I believe that this higher power can keep me from drinking? Am I living one day at a time? Do I ask God to give me the power to stay sober for each 24 hours? Do I attend AA meetings regularly? Meditation for the day. I believe that God's presence brings peace, and that peace, like a quiet flowing river, will cleanse all irritants away. In these quiet times, God will teach me how to rest my nerves. I will not be afraid. I will learn how to relax. When I am relaxed, God's strength will flow into me. I will be at peace. Prayer for the day. I pray that the peace which passes all understanding, I pray for that peace which the world can neither give or take away.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
You're in co-way of the token system. Ask for Fred and Paul to give out tokens.
I'm Paul, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Here's Coldwater, handing out tokens for lengths of sobriety. Is anyone here for the first meeting since the last three, or just getting started out, need a 24-hour token?
Yeah.
All right. All right, send out some tokens. How about 1 to 5 months? To 6 to 11. All right, how about 1 year? All right. What's fun?
Right there.
Oh, okay. There it is. Yes, sir. All right, buddy. There you go.
Pretty good, Dave.
Go, Dave.
All right. How about any year after? Buddy, come on. Just handing out some goods. All right, we all have to stay here, buddy.
All right, we do have a group conscious meeting after this meeting. Anybody that considers Coldwater their home group, or anybody that's looking for a home group, we'd be glad to have you, so that's up to you. If you don't have a home group, I suggest you get one. The 24th Celebration of Recovery 2024 Miami Valley Winter Conference, Saturday, March 24th at the Irish Club in Dayton, Ohio. There's information there on that. Also, the 49th Annual Area 54 Northeast Oil General Service Mini Conference. That's March 22nd, 24th. That's in, I think that's in Columbus, Westlake, Ohio. All right. Also, there's a scan here. If you a scan that you can scan your telephone number, it gets all your local Al-Anon and AA activities. Also, if anybody's interested in Dr. Bob's house visit. Still trying to get that together. We'll discuss that at our February the 4th district meeting. And we'll let you know about that. So if anybody's interested, sign the slip. Also, there's a meeting in Portland, Indiana on Tuesday night. It's a literature meeting. It's at the Happy Destiny group. It's at the Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church, 218 East High Street, Portland. It's literature and a discussion group. Also on Saturday morning, there's a morning meeting. I used to be at the Ace Hardware store in Portland. That's now meeting at the same location at 218 East High Street. All right. Anybody else have any announcements? All right. The lead guy got to give the lead tonight, picked his 1 year token up. And I met this guy a few 24 hours ago. And seems like he's working one day at a time. So without further ado, I'll give my friend Dave from Salina.
I'm Dave, I'm alcoholic.
Hey, Dave.
I warn you guys, first and foremost, I don't do public speaking very well. I guess I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm not originally from this area. I grew up super poor in rural southeastern Kentucky. We didn't have running water. That's how poor we were. But my uncles, my grandpa, my dad, they always had time to have beer. So my first drink that I can remember, I was probably 6 or 7 years old. My uncles were standing around up front, and they would have stacks of, I don't think they were Little Kings, but they were like round green bottles. But it was like a cream ale. And me and my cousins were bugging them, so we got our first drink. Over the years, we got drinks from our uncles, and then when I turned 12, we moved here. It was a totally different world in Mercer County. My dad and my uncles decided I was old enough to drink out in the garage with them, so that's when I officially started my drinking. Got to be pretty much every day I was drinking. I had buddies that were farm kids. They drink as well. I remember my dad would always have bottles and bottles of whiskey, and I didn't fit in with the popular crowd in school. So went through depression at an early age, so I started stealing bottles of whiskey from my dad, going into the woods, and I would drink everyday whiskey. Started getting in a lot of trouble, running around with a really bad crowd. So I went all the way through school, drunk most days at school. Started getting in trouble, like I said. Once I hit 18, I had the choice of joining the military, or I was probably going to see the rest of my life in jail or prison. So I chose to go into the United States Army, which was a great decision on my part. Gave me a lot of discipline, kind of straightened me out a little bit, but I was still drinking pretty steady through. In 2001, I ended up getting injured pretty bad. Had a bad jump in my right leg. I severed my Achilles tendon and destroyed the joint in the top of your foot. So I had a lot of surgeries there, and I was pretty bitter about that. So my drinking really kicked up a notch then. So about that time, after I recovered, I was working in bars a lot. Seemed like a lot of the relationships I was having was all, it was the bar life. So there weren't really great relationships. I did end up getting married to a girl from Salina, and we had a daughter. And I tried not to do what my parents had done to me. I tried to shield her from the drinking, so I was going out to the garage to drink, or I was going out. And fortunately, me going out, I missed a lot of her growing up. I used to think that the relationship went south there after a few years, and I used to think that it was all their fault, but looking back now, didn't quite realize how much how alcohol made me be to the people that I loved. So I ended up losing that relationship, and I was a working alcoholic, so I would go to work drunk, I would go out on my breaks and drink, and I went through a lot of jobs, bounced around quite a bit here and there, couldn't seem to hold anything down steady, and I never thought I was an alcoholic, ever. It took me a lot of years to get to that point. I met another woman, we got married, had another daughter, and about this time, I had a girl reach out to me on Facebook and said, "I think you're my dad." I stared at that computer screen for I can't tell you how long, trying to figure out what was going on. It turned out that I had come home on leave, I had gotten drunk, and I had a one-night stand. And yeah. So that was my oldest daughter then, because she came around before my firstborn, I guess, whatever, how you want to say it. So I started having a relationship with her, and I got married, and I tried to curb my drinking. So it didn't work. I tried and ended up in this last relationship I was in for 6 years, and she was a drinker as well. So we were working alcoholics. We worked at the same place. We ran a grocery store in Fort Recovery, and we worked 6-7 days a week, but we were always drunk, always. And it seemed like we were getting along, but again, I think the alcohol brings out the worst in you, and it definitely ruined that relationship. So once that started falling apart, I had inherited a place in Montezuma, Ohio, and I ended up moving out there, and I went completely off the rails. It got back to a point where some of the bar owners in the area at closing time would say, "Just leave Dave in here. He'll pay his tab in the morning." Yeah. I used to joke with them and say, "I'm paying your electricity bill." So as I'm going through all this, I'm getting to the point where when I wake up in the morning, I had the massive depression, and it got bad to the point to where I tried to take my own life. And God wasn't ready for me. I was taken to the hospital, and I had a specialist come that was trying to get me into a veterans hospital to help with the alcoholism and help with PTSD. And of course I refused. I wasn't quite ready to accept the things that were going on in my life. So I left, and it wasn't even 3 months later, I tried it again. And this time my neighbor happened to be outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I tried to hang myself in my garage. I had the garage door open. So I was saved there, and this time I was sent to the VA, and I spent 3 weeks, and I said all the right things and acted all the right ways. And I came home and had a buddy pick me up, and on the way back we stopped at a bar and we spent a few hours there. It's a really powerful thing when it gets your hooks in you. And when I got back home, I started doing some thinking, and I started realizing I had a problem, but I didn't know what to do about it. My entire friends network were alcoholics. We would go out, and I would talk to friends and say, "There's something really wrong with me. Shut up and have a beer. There's nothing wrong with this. You're fine." Yeah. I just kept digging in harder and harder. Just quit paying my bills, cut off family, and let me see here. Sorry, I'm extremely nervous, and I feel like I'm flying through my story a little too quick. In 2022, I don't remember much of the year, but August 12th I remember very well because I was at the bar and I got a phone call from my daughter's mother letting me know that she had died from an overdose. And that's the worst day of my life. Absolutely worst day. And you know, you would think that'd be a wake-up call to me. I got a problem, but I just somehow went harder. I didn't want to. I honestly feel like I was trying to drink myself to death. I didn't feel like, you know, I deserved to be around when my daughter couldn't be around. Then, well, of course, of screwing up even more like this, my other two daughters decided to cut me out of their lives. And the conversation I had with my oldest daughter was that I was the reason behind my daughter's death because I showed her it was okay to do these kinds of things. It hit pretty hard. So I didn't quit. I didn't quit. You know, I'd lost any type of family whatsoever. My family was the bar crowd. The only time I could feel normal was when I went to a bar. So I let everything go, just for that drink. So, move forward just a few months here. On December 30th, I decided to go to my neighbor's house and drink some beer in the garage. During the course of this, he had some Percocets, which I had done in the past, and I believe, I can't prove this, but I believe that it was not Percocets that I did because I could drink for hours before I blacked out. This was probably, I remember 2 hours of the night. And I woke up December 31st last year in the Mercer County Jail, laying on the floor, puked beside my head. And I just remember laying there, and I didn't know what to think at first. The despair and the depression was just so deep. I just laid there. And then I think I felt a calling that I needed to get up and shake myself off. So I started going through the motions in the jail. I'd never had any experience with AA, any groups, any support. This man over here, Gary T., is a good reason why I'm here today. And I actually think, Gary, you probably saved my life. And if you remember the first few times we met in the jail, I was in really bad shape. I was angry. I blamed everyone but myself at first. I really did. And talking to Gary, and I believe Bob came in, Steve came in, I started opening up a little bit. Started talking. There's another group that came in, Brianna's Hope, that was helping. And I started feeling like there was a little bit of hope. So started going to church in jail, and I started finding faith again. Something that I'd cut off a long time ago. Everybody else left me, God had left me. So I decided to give myself into God's hands. And started doing more reading the Bible, reading the books that you would give me in jail. And it started making a lot more sense. Now mind you, I'd been through the DTs in jail. They gave me Tylenol and Maalox and told me good luck. That was bad. So once I started realizing that the support was out there, I started coming up out of the hole that I dug myself into, from that rock bottom. I talked to foundations who had come in to talk to me. I was diagnosed with a couple of mental things I didn't realize but made sense afterwards. I started taking a medicine regimen which really changed my perspective on things. And once I got out of jail, I went to a rehab facility for 30 days, and they put me in a loony bin. It was not an alcohol rehabilitation center. It was a dual diagnosis, which meant I had people standing next to me beating their heads off walls. And that started getting me almost in a bad way. All that stress, it just made that craving was always there, but it like upped it. And I'm like, I have to get out of here. I made it through it, and I went to the House of Hope in Salina. And I almost got kicked out several times in my first month. I did not want to be there. I had got the taste of freedom, and all I wanted to do was go drink. The hooks were still deep, real deep. But over the course of time, started going to the different AAs, Coldwater here, of course. Started in Jabez House in Salina. I did Brianna's Hope. And if you guys know, I don't talk very much in these groups. I don't open up very well. This right here is a struggle for me. And just listening to you guys and your stories and your shared, it really makes all the difference in the world. You know, I've learned things that people, places, and things. I've cut everybody out from my old life. And that was another source of, wow, I'm all alone. But I have all you guys. And then I reestablished my connection with my mother and father, which has been so good because it's better than it's ever been in my life. Better, you know, Dad and I, we had a very long talk because he realized that he kind of kick-started my alcoholism by allowing me to drink. But I got to tell him, he didn't make me drink. And it's always been, I mean, I come from a family of alcoholics. My uncles and my grandpa, they made moonshine in Kentucky. So, yeah, it's always been there. It's just the people, places, and things really do matter. I'm going so quick here. Better slow down. You know, coming to these groups, I've talked to quite a few of you one-on-one, and looking back, I can really see exactly the different steps and different levels of where the alcoholism was taking more and more control of my life. You know, it'd be nice to go back and change that, but I'm standing here today a year sober. So I feel like part of God's plan is I had to go through all the hurt and the bad just to be sober today. I better look at my list. I am so short here, I'm sorry.
It's longer than the one I gave.
I,
It was like 15 minutes.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember a lot of years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I worked in a lot of bars, and every time, I mean, I was a bouncer. So every night it was, let's do shots. Hey, there's a fight. Afterwards, let's have a shot. I thank God every day for these groups. I know I hit and miss these groups. I go to at least 2 to 3 a week, but I'm trying to work, which is still a struggle for me. Still a struggle. Yeah, I've had really good jobs. I've worked at Crown. Really bad job, but a good job. I was a manager at Boardwalk in Salina. Drunk every day. Every day. That's why I lost that job. Crown, though, I can remember going out on break and drinking Fireball. Coming back in, and my team leader asking me, "Did you just drink Fireball?" "Yeah." "Well, why didn't you give me any?" That's the culture, I think. You know, it's just so mainstream and available, and it's crazy to think of how, I'm not bashing this area any way, shape, or form, but this area is just so crazy with all the drinking, and there's not much else to do in this area. You know, yeah. Well, I'm running out of things to say here, guys, but I will say this. You know, I thank God, I thank AA, I thank the House of Hope, and I thank all of you guys for helping me get to this point in my life. You guys have made all the difference to me. I like to consider you guys friends. I have something else to talk about, thank God. through the course of this past year, I have found that I like talking to people and helping people.
Yeah.
So I've got a certification through the state awaiting me getting out probation as a peer recovery specialist. I have found that talking to people helps me stay sober. So if I can help someone and help myself, I think that's a win-win. Yeah. I'm sorry to go so short, but I think that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. That's a good message. They talk about miracles. We're miracles, with your story and yeah, that's why we go to jail meetings. That's why we go to jail meetings, so you can stand up here tonight. Not because we're special or anything like that, because somebody did that for us when I got here. Somebody took time out of their life for me to be here tonight. I can never forget that, you know what I'm saying? We have a fatal disease of alcoholism. And this is the only place I ever found out that I could stay quit. We're going to go around the thing. We'll start off with Greg, and if anybody wants to say anything.
I'm Greg, alcoholic.
Greg.
Congratulations on taking your year token, Dave. That was a really good lead. I didn't think you sounded that nervous. You did a good job with it. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thanks, Greg.
I'm Steve, alcoholic.
Hey, Steve.
Congratulations, Dave. 1 year. I remember when you came in. And, it doesn't really, somehow, some way, we all get to a point during our drinking where we have to realize, we've hit rock bottom. Don't know how, whatever, it could be from whatever, but we hit at a point. I think the last 7 years I drank were the worst of my life, and eventually it got to the point where no matter how much, it got to the point where I was going out every night and I drank. I couldn't even get drunk anymore. It was like I would drink it, but nothing happened, And I was on the verge of throwing the military career away. It was about 15 years in, and I was given an ultimatum: either go or your ass is out. So I went, and yeah, that was way back in 1989. That was a long time ago, but but today, I'm sober today because of the meetings and the program and these people around here and all the meetings I went to when I was stationed in Europe and stuff. Most important thing I have to remember today is that I'm one drink away from throwing everything away, and that's all I have to remember. That's the most important thing for me to remember today. Yeah, you said it best, that once you start drinking, once you find the tables and the rooms and you start working, your life gets better. And like it says in the promises, sometimes that would come quickly, some slowly, but they always materialize if you work for them. I'm glad to hear your lead tonight. I've never heard it before, and I'm glad you're doing well in your program. So that's all I've got.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve. I'm Paul, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Dave, thanks for sharing the story. Really related with a lot with you, buddy. I also was a single father with a daughter that I missed her growing up as well. I totally relate with that. No, glad you're here. Congratulations on the token, bud. Token.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Tom, alcoholic.
Tom.
Thank you, Dave. I've seen you around in the program for the last year or so, and you seem real humble. I never really got to talk to you, but you're just humble, and I'm glad you're here, man. Because that's what we just need, people like you to stay sober and show others how to stay sober. That's all, thanks.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, Steve,
I'm Steve Alcoholic. As if y'all would know, right? But like I told you the other day, you told me it was a year, and I was like, a year already? Wow, it seems like it crept up on me real quick. I didn't realize it was a year already for you. That's great. Congratulations. A couple of things you said in your story, being in the loony bin, I experienced that. I thought I was going in for a detox over the weekend, and this happened over at St. Vincent's in Indianapolis. And I get in there, and it was kind of a same thing, dual diagnosis type situation. And yeah, it turned out to be the loony bin. And of course, I didn't find that out until after I was in there. And once you're in, So yeah, I think I spent 4 or 5 days in there, and that was a real experience. I don't think I want to go through that again. But that's what led into, a couple years later, I went into a real treatment program, Woodhaven down in Canton, 90 days, I need it every day. But yeah, some things that you said I can definitely relate to. I had the aunts and uncles, they all got together and had party parties, and us kids were running around loose, and we were mixing them drinks and stuff. You gotta taste it to make sure you did it right. And so yeah, we had our first taste of alcohol very early on. I don't know exactly, I could say definitively around 16 is when I started drinking on a pretty regular basis, because that's when I got my driver's license and we could go cruise. And I could get alcohol because I was the one that grew a mustache and passed for 18. Because back then, at my age, it was 18. You could get alcohol. But yeah, so as far as Mercer County, I did not want to come back to Mercer County. But my options were limited. They have a weird thing that if you have too much sobriety, you can't get into a sober living facility, which doesn't make a hill of beans of sense to me. If you have like more than 30 days, then they say you can't. I had 90 days, so I had too much sobriety. Makes no sense. The system there is broken. But so I had no choice but to come to Mercer County, and I was very afraid that I wasn't going to be able to do it in Mercer County because I was so in tune with all those things that involve drinking in this area. I've been there. I grew up here. I've lived in this area, the majority of my life, with the exception of my time in Columbus and South Dakota. But yeah, there are other things that can be done around here that don't involve drinking. Because I know, I thought when I quit drinking, I thought my life was over, and it wasn't. And I learned that and found that out through the program. And the program has given me the tools that I need to be successful in my sobriety. I face rejection on a daily basis. Today I face rejection, and those are all ramifications of my drinking from my past. And I have to deal with that every day. And when I face rejection, yeah, I might be upset initially, but I give myself a little time to cool down and get my head back on straight, ask God for help, and have my faith say, okay, I got God on my side, it's going to be okay in the end, and let it play out. It is what it is. Let go, let God, move on, And so that's just kind of the way I live my life now. I just roll with it, let go and let God, and everything will fall in place. It'll happen when it happens. But I can't really complain too much these days, I'm sober and I'm relatively happy. And I'm glad if you were nervous, I couldn't tell. I thought you did a real good job. And yeah, so, you're such a grateful individual, you're thankful, and you're just, very courteous and just a nice soul, so it's been a pleasure knowing you, and I consider you a friend, so thank you.
Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Miranda,
Hi,
Miranda.
Yeah, you did good. I didn't getting up in front of people. I was waiting for him to finish, and I'm sitting here nervous just to speak in front of a group right now. But yeah, there's a lot that I related to in your story. A lot. I wasn't around whenever my daughter grew up, and it just reminded me your story about, you talked a lot about like the hooks of addiction, and knowing that that's right there. It's, if I don't do what I need to do today, that could be me. So you gave me that reminder, and then also a key thing that I took from your story was, you said something about your mental health, and when you got that taken care of, everything was different. And I feel like that was the game changer for me. Like once I got my mental health taken care of, everything was different. So yeah, it was a good story, and congratulations on 1 year. You did really good.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks,
Brandon.
The same alcoholic I did.
Sorry.
I guess I'm just that different, but you did an awesome job.
Yeah.
And just like I knew you would, though. Thank you for your, I'm glad to hear your story, which I pretty much know most of it, but I'm just glad that you come into these rooms and you come to the house of hope, because you got to meet me. But seriously, you're an awesome friend. You helped me a lot, and I don't know. I'm just very glad I met you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're sober. Congratulations on your year. For the other day, it's worth it. But you did a fine job. I thought you was gonna puke at one point in time, but yeah. Just thanks for letting me get to know you even more, and thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Sandra.
Thanks.
My turn. I'm Richard Alcoholic.
Hey, Richard.
I related to just about everything you said. Except for you picked the wrong branch of the military. From the military, the VA, the rehab, the loony bins, your daughter passing away, I just related to a lot, all of it. And before that, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known before you got up there and spoke, I wouldn't have known any of that. And that's what's so good about these things. I'm trying to think of what else I was gonna say. As far as I think Mercer County being the high volume alcoholism or alcoholics as it is, or whatever you want to call it, drinking of alcohol consumption, that's what the word is.
Yeah.
There's a word. I think that's what makes the AA so good here. And with that, I'll pass.
Thanks, Richard.
Thanks for being my friend. Oh, and welcome to you, sir. I don't remember your name. It's been a long hour. Josh, thanks.
I'm horrible with names. It'll take me months.
Well, welcome home.
Josh, alcoholic.
Josh.
Just want to say congratulations on a year. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you the last 24 hours. So we'll see what comes.
Still be thinking the same thing next week.
Coming back.
Well, congratulations on your 1 year. It's truly inspiration, especially to me and everybody in this room, and everyone in this room has been inspiration to me also. With that, I'm going to pass.
Thanks, Sharon.
Kyle, alcoholic.
Hey, Kyle.
Kyle.
Congratulations on your 1 year. Also want to thank you for your service too. I've known you for quite a while, even though I didn't know that. I do remember you coming into jail, because I was in jail then too. But you took what you needed to do, and you moved on, moved forward. I think you're making all the right choices, and you sound sincere, and just what the last 4 months that I've been back home and I've been around you these few times, like, you truly are inspirational to a lot of people. Like everybody else, I'm like very caring and willing to help people. I think you're going to do good things, and you'll make your daughter proud. I believe in you, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Kyle.
I'm Charlie Alcoholic.
Charlie.
I gotta tell you, Dave, for that being your first lead, I think you did a hell of a good job. us, and congratulations on your year. High five.
Hey, Charlie.
Leo alcoholic.
Leo.
Thanks, Dave. That's hard to get up there, but that's what we do to stay sober. And after we've been through hell, I'll do anything to stay sober. The longer you're in here, the more you work at it, the longer your lead will get. It ain't the length of the message, it's what's in it. And I thought it was very good. You showed the pain and what you did to get where you're at today. And that's all I got.
Thanks,
Hey,
Leo.
Leo.
I'm Andrew, recovering alcoholic.
Andrew.
I want to thank you for sharing with us, and congratulations on your year token. A year token is a great step, and it takes a lot of pain to get to where I've been, and things are getting easier, but I know at one time they was pretty tough, and I just want to thank you for sharing with us. That's all I know.
Hey, Andrew.
I'm Jim, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Jim.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, it's a powerful story, and it was perfectly told. Only you can tell your story, only I can tell mine. It was perfect. You know, I'm glad that you found that you're good and working with others, and you know that's why AA works. You know, and I hope you feel. I mean, I had somebody tell me in a year sober, the most powerful thing that we have to share is our story, and we don't know the value of our story until we tell it. We don't know the value of our story until it's said, until we tell it. And so the more all we can offer anybody, and any alcoholic, any addict, is our own personal experience, strength, and hope. And so the more that we speak of that, the more we share that, that's how we heal ourselves. Not so much others. If others get something out of it, that's great, and they do. But that's when we see our value. And, you know, for me, you know, we're not just our messed up story. You know, the opportunity to be something else and something that our story has been valuable and whatever. You look at a life like Gary's, you know, best thing that ever happened to Coldwater, Ohio is that, you know, there's an alcoholic named Gary T in this town.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want to drive in Coldwater when Gary was drinking, but big traffic. But I mean, so it's great when we have the opportunity to help others. So great job, and congrats on the year, Quinn. You too, Jack. Congrats on your
Thanks, John.
I'm Mitch, I'm an
Hey,
alcoholic.
Mitch.
Dave, I'm super happy I came tonight. Yeah, they say like, oh, it's gonna get better for your leads from here on out, but that's gonna be tough to top because that was a really good first one, man. I ain't never heard anybody give such a good first lead in my life. I thought you did a wonderful job. And you talked a lot about how it's like now, what it's like now, and that's what I liked. I know you're doing a really good job, man. So I want you to keep it up. That's it.
Hey, Mitch.
Cody alcoholic.
Cody.
Great lead. I'm definitely glad I came tonight. I mean, a little bit sitting in jail. I definitely can relate to that. Yeah. Congrats on your year coin, and Josh on your coin too. And that's all I have.
Thanks,
Cody.
Mike, alcoholic.
Mike.
Congratulations, Josh and Dave. Matter of fact, on my year coin, I was sitting there where Mitch was, and I wanted to drink that night. Didn't want to, but this stupid, stinking, thinking brain was saying, you could celebrate. I celebrate by coming to this meeting because Gary told me, he says, if you're thinking about drinking, you better come to a meeting. But I learned a lot more about you, Dave. We share a little bit in common. I used to be a bouncer at a bar, and I thought that was the best job in the world. You get drunk for free, eat pizza at the end of the night, you get paid $40. What else? What's better than that? But you know what? I found out today that it ain't that great. But the trials and tribulations I had to go through, I had to go through every one of them to get where I'm at today. Like I said, I love this program, I love you people. Because without you, I wouldn't be sober today, and with that, I'll pass.
Hey, Mike.
Kevin, I'm not.
Kevin.
And, congratulations on your, coin there and coming and, you know, getting started in this different way of life and, you know, just, stay here, keep coming back, cause, things can change. Dave, thanks for your lead, bud. And, you know, that's, just like everybody else said, that's, you know what, how long that lasts, don't make any difference, you know. What you put in that and how you, express that makes a good lead. And you done very well at that. And, you know, I didn't grow up around here either, and when I got to Marshall County, I thought I'd done landed in heaven, you know. Hell, every weekend, you know, in the summertime, every weekend, there's a festival, and, you know, and it's drinking and drinking, and, you know, but, at the end of the day, you know, I was an alcoholic. And, you know, and I had to change something. And I do believe, and I've been to AA meetings in other places, and Mercer County has a very good program. We have a very good program. You don't have to go very far, and you see meetings struggling to stay open and closing. And, you know, and there's towns not too far away from here, they don't even have these. And, you know, and we have an excellent Alcoholics Anonymous program in this county. And, you know, and hopefully you stick with it. Maybe you can get into doing some work and helping other people. When you help another alcoholic, there's nothing like the feeling that you get from helping another alcoholic stay sober today. And, you know, and that's a true miracle of this program. And I'm glad that I came tonight. Thanks for being my friend, and I'll pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'm Brad, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Brad.
Congratulations, Josh, on getting your 24-hour token. That's a big step. And I want to thank you, Dave, for your lead. I can tell you I was nervous as hell. Everybody else said they couldn't. It reminded me the first time I met you, you were very nervous and we talked and stuff. And I've given you some rides back and forth to some meetings and stuff, and you've just gotten I can tell you were a little bit. You did an excellent job. I could relate to watching your story, you know, about mixing drinks for Dad and getting Dad beer and taking drinks and all that. You know, I don't know the first time I was drunk. I mean, how much does it take for a 5 or 6-year-old kid to get drunk? I don't really know. I can relate a lot to that. And then when you was talking about you were somewhere and you said the right things to get out of there in a hurry or whatever and you got drunk, I think that's just a typical alcoholic. I know that's the way I was. I went to the doctor. I could feed him a whole big lie and not be truthful with them. I mean, I was never depressed. I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't anything, you know. Just, I'm in here for a cold or whatever, you know. I'm tired all the time, whatever I went there for. And then once we get honest, it's amazing, you know. And it just, I don't know. It was a great story, and I really liked it. I want to thank you for being my friend, and keep coming back, buddy. And we're having a group conference after the meeting tonight, so don't forget.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
I'm Steve, I'm not
Hey, Steve.
It's been a few, you know. I mean, I got a few 24 hours on my belt, and you got a year. That's good, that's good. Because where we were at before, Lord Jesus Christ, neither one of us should be here. Neither one of us should be here today. You know, there's no way. The shit that we didn't do, whatever, you know. And, you know, I'm not here to brag, you know. I'm here to tell you that life sucked.
it sucked very bad, because I didn't know what I was gonna do the next day. Whether I was gonna wake up or whether I was gonna be dead, you know, I mean, hell, I almost did it when I had my car accident, you know. But, I want to tell you, you say it's hard to get this slow, sober in Mercer County. Fuck you, it ain't. Pardon my language, but, you know, it ain't. Because you know what? All that shit out there is what you want. I want this. I don't want that shit anymore. And that's what you gotta train yourself to say. You know, get away from that. No, I don't want that alcohol. I want to do something better in my life. Come in the program, get as close to these people as you got, as close to the people who are. And that'll make the whole outlook of life set different, you know, and you'll feel a whole lot better. You know, I mean, I don't even go to, I go to the whistle stop, whatever, to get pizza. That's it. And whatever to eat, that's it. That's, you know, that's the only thing I go to. That's one bar I go into. You know, I don't go to bars and hang out anymore, play pool, play darts. Fuck, I'm married, you know. I got grandkids. I got great grandkids. You know, I don't need that life no more. You know, all I gotta do is put one alcoholic drink in my body. That shit's all gone. And then this guy's, he's just an invisible guy doing whatever the hell he wants to do. I don't want that guy anymore. You know, I like who I am, man, and I like who you become. You know, yeah, it was a short lead, but guess what? It was honesty. It's what you need. You know, and it'll get better, or it might not get better, but it's your story. Tell it how you want to tell it. And if you like to call you a liar, oh no, you didn't do that. Hey, how you doing? You weren't here. You know, I don't know half the shit I did. I wasn't there. You know. So for that, good lead. Thanks for being my friend. Congratulations to you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve? Dwayne, alcoholic.
Hey, Dwayne.
Josh, congratulations on your 24 hours. And I hope you're right beside Dave next week and find out he's a good man. I can't believe it's been a year already, you know, and you're a good guy, and I'm glad to hear that you're getting certified, waiting to get off probation, because you're gonna help a hell of a lot of people. I mean, I can tell that in your lead. You told it from the heart. I don't give a shit how long it is, short it is. It's what you said. And that's what people are gonna catch, is what you say. They ain't gonna give a shit about all your drunk log and all this other crap. They're gonna hear what you said, and you said a lot tonight. Awesome lead, and thanks for being my friend, Dave.
Thanks.
Don.
Hey, Donnie.
Thanks for the lead. I've realized a lot of it. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tom.
Don.
I'm Tom, alcoholic. And, I've seen a lot of people wanna go into counseling and stuff right out of treatment, and they don't usually stay sober, because they're doing it for the wrong reasons. And they're doing it for money instead. But that's not the way they started out, but, you know, so, you know, be careful when you make decisions. My name's Tom, I'm done.
We know your name.
I'm Jeremy Alcoholic. Josh, keep coming back. Everybody had their first meeting. Everyone in this room had their first meeting. And Dave, just keep on doing what you're doing. You know, it isn't the length of the lead, it's what the person talks from. You know, yeah, good message. All right, we'll let you close the meeting with our Father.
How you doing? I ain't seen you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gone for a while.
Dave.
Our Father,
Who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Keep coming back, it works if you work it.
Yeah.
Don, there's your thing. Tom. Oh, yeah. I don't know yet.